Do you identify as a high achiever, a multi-passionate individual, somebody impact-driven or heart-led? Perhaps somebody even called you a perfectionist or a recovering perfectionist, as I used to sometimes refer to myself. Maybe you have ADHD or you consider yourself neurodivergent in other ways. And so you might notice that your mind is always thinking, always reflecting, always making assumptions, always narrating, always planning, and always wanting you to do something. If that's you, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Alice Rizzi. I'm a licensed psychologist and a mindful embodiment coach. I work with so many clients that experience life in a similar way to you. And in fact, I do as well. I identify as a high achiever, an impact driven person, somebody really motivated, somebody who wants to make sure they don't waste their time on earth. And I have tons of different ideas that I'm always working on, always brainstorming, always wanting to do something with. Now, as you can imagine, and you probably have this experience too, this can cause a lot of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm because we are so passionate about our ideas, our projects, the changes that we want to implement, or the healthy habits that we want to build, or the people that we want to help, that we spend a lot of time in our own minds. And not only do we analyze everything that we think, everything that we feel, how our body feels, everything that we see, we also apply this to other people. How are they doing things and are they meeting our standards? And depending on the type of high achiever you are, maybe you notice that you turn most of this analyzing on yourself, or maybe you tend to externalize and put most of your judgments on other people. Take a second, even now, to reflect on this. Do you internalize all of these thoughts that may often be critical? Or do you externalize them and judge other people or question other people's capacities, standards, ability to do something? Does it match yours? Or do you often find that people fall flat compared to what you expect them to do or how you expect them to be? Now, most of us do tend to internalize and judge ourselves and criticize ourselves, but sometimes other people get caught in the crossfires. So, when you notice yourself getting really carried away with these thoughts, I really suggest taking a step back, pausing or stopping fully, and just even noticing what's going through your mind. What thoughts is your mind sending you that feel captivating, enticing, urgent, that you feel like you need to do something about? And as you take this step back or pause, you give yourself an opportunity to actually critically think about the thoughts, not to criticize yourself, but to evaluate if the thoughts are even relevant to you. Is this an important thought? Do I need to action it? Is this a thought that I have on a daily basis? So, for example, you might notice a thought such as the sky is blue, the grass is green. It's a pretty irrelevant thought. It's just your brain observing things around you, noticing your sensory experiences. But you don't necessarily need to react to this thought. You don't need to do anything about it. That might sound a lot easier for you to do than if you notice a recurring thought such as, I'm such a failure. I never meet my own standards. I always mess up. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. My business isn't successful enough. Even as I list these out, I wonder if you had some kind of emotional reaction somewhere in your body. Because chances are, if you are a high achieving, impact driven, passionate individual, you've probably had those thoughts, if not on a regular basis, then at least from time to time. We all do our best. We all try our hardest to be a good person, to live a meaningful life. That is my belief, at least. And I know many of my clients share this belief, so maybe you do too. And it's important to realize this because then we can give ourselves this permission to even pause or to stop and to do this sort of reflecting. Am I the kind of person that always goes, goes, goes? Am I always doing and completing and trying to finish and execute and start something new? And how much of my time do I actually spend reflecting on all of that doing? I know for me, it didn't used to be a lot of time. I used to just go from one project to the next and the next without even thinking, like, how is this serving me? Am I tired? Do I have to go to the bathroom? Do I need to eat or take a nap? And that's a common cycle that we can get into. We're trying to do so much, and a lot of times we're doing for other people, but we forget about ourselves. We deprioritize our own needs. We say, I'll do that later. Just one more email, just one more idea, just one more conversation, until we realize we're exhausted. Maybe we haven't slept well. Maybe we're not eating properly. Maybe some of our friendships and relationships aren't going the way that we would like. I find in my work as a therapist and a coach that often happens when we don't prioritize our own needs enough. And in fact, that's part of why I am creating these videos, why I show up in both of my businesses, why I create content, why I create courses, because I want to help you experience life in a joyful, peaceful, grounded way. I want you to feel confident and trusting in yourself to make choices, decisions, habits that serve you, that you don't just do because they're habits, that you don't just do because somebody else told you you should, that you don't just do because that's what everybody on Instagram says you should be doing. I want you to be able to pause, take a step back, and reflect. How is this serving me? Are these thoughts relevant to me? What emotions are coming up for me? What do I feel in my body? And how do I want or need to respond to any and all of the above? Because I have a choice in that. So, if this information was helpful for you, then I might encourage you to try out one of my meditations. So, I released one last week. I'm releasing one this week. I usually do my meditations on Fridays. So, you might want to check out one or both of those. And you can also always sign up to my meditation library. It's just $5 a month. Everything is uploaded online, all of my meditations you can access anytime from your device. And if you want my support implementing some of these concepts in your life, helping you stay accountable, then my membership, Mindful Mavens, might be really interesting to you. So check it out. The links are below, and I'll see you in my next video. Like and subscribe for more.